Hello and welcome. My name is Robin and you're watching Robin Reads. Today I'm going to talk about 5 books that I finished in the month of October, and this is probably going to be my part 1 wrap up, because I will probably be reading a couple more books, but there will be coming out 2 vlogs, so you will hear about those books in those vlogs. You will probably have seen my reading a horror book vlog, and next up will be reading the reading challenge, Reading the Rainbow, color green, because I'm finally finishing that. But yeah, let's talk about the 5 books that I finished in the month of October. And yeah, let's get started. So the first book that I finished in the month of October is called The Skeleton Cupboard. It's by Tanya Byron. And this book I got from Spotify because I am listening more to audiobooks actually, just because I live in a different place and I need to commute a lot to school and internship and stuff like that, so therefore I am listening to more audiobooks. And this one I got for free on Spotify. They actually have a lot of free audiobooks there, which is really great. And I found this one when I was browsing the non-fiction area because I wanted to read some non-fiction. And yeah, this book is it's said that it's a memoir, but at the end of the book the author mentions that it isn't a memoir. It's more well, it sort of is, but it's more like things that happened in her life, and she basically put them a little bit together in one story. But let me explain you what this is about. The Skeleton Cupboard is about this woman, and I can't really remember her name, but she is clinical psychiatrist. She is basically going to school for that, and you follow her internships by different psychological places. And I think she's doing like 6 in total, so you follow 6 internships that she does, and at those 6 internships you basically follow 6 different patients that she sort of outlines for us, and also some other patients, but those 6 are more at the front. And yeah, it was a really good book. It was well written, and it was a very interesting story because I'm very interested in psychology, and this was just very interesting to read / hear about. Because she goes to 6 very different places, and she just talks about her experience there and how it changes her, and stuff like that. So that was very interesting. But if you want to read this book, be cautioned, because it's a very tough read because of the subject matter. She, for example, goes to a place where people are treated for anorexia, but also drug use, abuse, and alcohol abuse. And she's also going to a clinic for patients with HIV. It takes place in the 90s, so you probably can guess what happens there. And so therefore it was a pretty tough read, but therefore also very interesting for me. And I just really loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. And the next book that I finished was for the Currently Reading Book Club. This is hosted by Ali from Mrs. Dunn Reads. I was a bit late for finishing the book, but I couldn't do the live show because it was at like 1 at night for me, so I couldn't have done that either way. But I did finish the book, and that is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. And yeah, this book is about this woman named Emma, and Emma has been traumatized because she went to a camp for girls 15 years ago, a summer camp, and she stays there in this cabin with 3 other girls, and those 3 girls go missing, and they haven't been found. So she's very traumatized by that. But then 15 years later, the owner of the camp asks her to come back to the camp and stay there. And basically the camp reopens. And yeah, girls are coming there to stay. And yeah, that's basically what the story is about. And the title is The Last Time I Lied, which is because Emma lies about something. And I didn't really like this book. I was the only one because everyone in the live show really liked it, but I was one of the few that didn't really like it, and I will tell you why. I didn't really like this book because, first up, basically you are building up to the point that you figure out what it is Emma lied about. And when you figure that out, it's very underwhelming because it's very insignificant in my opinion. And then later on some things happen, some spooky things are happening, and then you figure out what happens there, who did that, and also the ending, what happened with the girls. And all of that was very underwhelming. It was just not spooky at all, and just very meh for me. And also just, the story itself really dragged for me. You are in the head of Emma and she just keeps telling you that she lied about something. That's just really annoying. And you also hear from 15 years ago. She talks about what happened there, and that's also not very interesting. The only interesting part was something that I can't talk about, but Emma is traumatized and therefore something happens. And that was sort of interesting, but just I don't really super like when authors or books use like a trauma or like a mental illness to make it like spooky or something. So I didn't really like that. And you're probably wondering why I gave it 2.5 stars, because I am only being pretty negative about this book. But I gave it 2.5 stars because I really liked the writing of this book. Just very descriptive, which I just really like. And I also liked the characters. They were pretty well done, I think. And therefore I gave it pretty much 2.5 stars because I like that about it, and I would really would want to read some more by Riley Sager, but this one was just a bit meh for me. And I have found out that I just don't really like unreliable narrators. Just like Girl on the Train, I also really didn't like that book. And like Gone Girl, I didn't even finish because I didn't really like it. So that is just probably not for me. And then also in the domestic thriller kind of section, that's just really not for me. So Last Time I Lied, I gave 2.5 stars. Then the next book I finished was Gardens of Delight by Erica James. So I started this one like last month, I think, and I came like halfway through and was a bit bored, so I put it down and finished it this month. And Gardens of Delight is it's about this little village where a couple of people live. You follow Helen, I think she's called. Yeah, Helen. And Helen lives with her husband. But her husband isn't very nice to her, and she just feels that something is off. And she meets this guy named Conrad, and Conrad lives in the village as well. And Conrad is a widower. And they form like a friendship and something maybe more. Then you also follow, what's her name? I'm very bad at names. You got Orlando and then someone else. But she is figuring out what she wants. Her sort of roommate, Orlando, they have been friends for years, but now she feels something for him and she doesn't really know what to do with that. And basically the Gardens of Delight are a place in Italy where they go, and stuff that needs to be figured out there. That's basically sort of what the book is about. It's a women's fiction book, I think, or just fiction. And I gave it 3.5 stars because I really actually enjoyed this. The writing was very good and the characters were pretty nice. The romances were very good. It wasn't too predictable at the end, which was also very nice and refreshing because I find romances pretty predictable most of the time. I just really enjoyed reading the book. The only complaint that I have is that it was just a bit too long. I find that most of the time with women's fiction, unfortunately, just it drags on a bit for me. Also with like communication problems and stuff. But a very enjoyable read, and I recommend if you like fiction/women's fiction. Then the next book I read and finished was The Lion, the Tortoise and the Princess Gazelle by Petra Okeke-Bestman. This I got from NetGalley, and this is a children's fiction book about a tortoise, a lion and a princess named Gazelle. And the tortoise and the lion both want to marry the Princess Gazelle, and they need to build a house for her to do that. And this was just lovely. I gave it 4.5 stars because writing was very good and I really, really loved the drawings. They were very colorful and just very beautiful and also funny sometimes. I really just loved that. And I highly recommend if you like children's picture books. And then the last book that I finished was Me by Elton John. This I also got as an audiobook from Spotify for free. And I read this because I saw the movie Rocketman last year, I think it was, and this year again, and I really, really loved it. I love Taron Egerton in it, and he actually narrates the audiobook, which was really awesome. And I just thought I would like to know more about Elton John because I think he's pretty cool. I don't super like his music, but as a person I think he's really cool. So basically this book is his autobiography, which he wrote himself. And that was a big, not a surprise or something, but just, it was very nice that it was actually pretty well written. Sometimes a little bit chaotic, but it was not too much. And I just really thought it was pretty well written and also just awesomely narrated. At the beginning and end, Elton John narrated something himself as well, which was really nice. And the story itself was just really interesting. He basically just talks about his life, his career, and I really enjoyed that. And some things that were in the movie Rocketman came back in this book as well, but Elton really described things with more detail, which was really nice, and some things were a little bit different in the movie than how it actually went, so that was also nice to see the difference there. And yeah, I just really enjoyed reading it, and also about all the people he befriended in his years as a performer, like Freddie Mercury and John Lennon and yeah, people like that, which was really fun. And I think it was also a lot of fun because he didn't stop where the movie Rocketman ended. He just wrote until basically now, which was really nice. So I learned more about his children and his family, which was just really nice. And yeah, I gave this book 4 stars because it was just really good and really enjoyable, but not perfect or anything, so therefore 4 stars. But yeah, those were basically all the books I read so far in the month of October. As you know, I'm participating in a readathon. That's not going very well, but you will hear more about that hopefully in my second wrap up of the month. I'm probably going to do 2 because again I'm doing some vlogs as well. But yeah, let me know down below how your month is going. Have you read any good books, not so good books? Are you enjoying the spooky season? Are you reading horror, thriller? Let me know down below. And yeah, I really hope you like this video, so please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and I will see you later.